Ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. How's everybody doing? We are here. This is awesome. I only have to hear that song one more time, and I'll be done with it forever. No, I love that song. I love the intro. It's great. Awesome times. We've got some great specials going on here at Condi. Check out condi.com. Give us a call at 1-800-826-6332. Or email salesteam@condi.com. That's SALESTEAM @condi.com. And find out about the amazing special sales we got going on. We got the Christmas and July sale going on, which is how much? That is up to 75% off select products. We've got over 700 of them. While inventory, while supplies last, we've got up to 37% off Caesar. We got some artistry sale going on. So check out your artistry there. What else we got? We got Geonite, 5% off, and a whole bunch of other stuff. White toner deals. The RI100, we got a great deal on that. Check it out. I see that people are in here hashtagging Sassy Subber. You guys, obviously, you know something I don't. I'm just kidding. We got Nikki, the Sassy Subber here. She is closing out and headlining. Unfortunately, not unfortunately for her. Unfortunately, this is the last act of the Sublimation circus. Besides Friday Live, we will be going live at 3:30, so join us for that. But we are thrilled and excited to have Nikki here. Awesome to have her headlining the 2023 Condi virtual open house. And there's Nikki. Hello, Nikki.
No pressure at all. They saved the crazy for last, is what they did.
I mean, this is what it's all about. Thinking outside the box, thinking with what you got, moving past what's been done, and
yeah. I mean, it's so you saw that I did this, what we're going to be doing in my group, and you go, "Come on, really?"
Right. You're doing
and
it.
I was like, "Well, yeah, you can, and there's a reason for it." So, do you want me to just jump right in?
Well, I was going to say in math and in physics, there's a term called singularity, and that's kind of like the unknown. So if you enter a black hole, there's a point of singularity. Yeah. This class here, no pressure, is that point, and you're never coming back from this, okay?
You're not. So here you go.
Nikki's got all the energy in the world. She's awesome. She's going to bring it. I'll be here.
And I apologize for how I sound. I've got a wicked head cold brewing right now from traveling, and so no, I don't normally sound this way. But
I'll be here with the comments, talking, letting you know. So fire away, Nikki. Good luck.
Right, so what if I told you that I'm going to take basically the laws of everything we know in sublimation and just throw it right out the window? We're just going to say, no, you don't need a heat press. No, you don't need shrink wrap. No, you don't need a convection oven, and all you need is a heat gun. You wouldn't believe me. You would have thought I was crazy, and maybe I am. But what if I told you that's exactly what I did with this right here? This guy, completely with a heat gun. Now let's talk about why this is important. If you have a heat press, right, and you go to put it inside your heat press, you're not going to be able to get in under the handle. What you can do is once you take it out of your heat press, hit it with a heat gun and you could get in, and now you've got a full bleed. Maybe you're struggling with using the shrink wrap. Some people have arthritis, and that shrink wrap can be horrible for somebody. What if I told you we're also not going to tape a ton either? I'm about to just throw literally caution to the wind and show you, but let me show you what I've pre-done, and we're going to do it together. So I did this one with the handle all in underneath. Great. This one, and Bo will give you the links to what these are. I believe this is the tumbler 2021. I believe what this one is. So this is the milkshake tumbler. Love it. I am going to show you that.
The first one you showed is, I can't type that fast. I'm sorry. Energy and excitement, I said. That's the SS Mug 15W.
Yes, yes. And then
and the milkshake tumbler is the
tumbler
222, I believe.
Or the 221, something like that.
Yeah, it's either 222 or 221.
Look at the color. Now you're going to argue with me and you're going to say that cannot be done by a heat gun with just a little bit of tape. It absolutely is. And no, I don't put anything protective over it. I'm blowing everybody's mind right now going, you really got that kind of color?
That blue is on there. Is that the 17 ounce or the 12 ounce?
This is the 17 ounce.
Okay, so that's the mega pint.
Yes. Okay. Now, I intentionally had to show you one that I messed up. Do you know how hard it is? We can easily mess up stuff without even thinking about it. But when you actually have to think about how to mess up a substrate so that you could teach about it, becomes quite the conversation. But I'm going to show you how to do this. So let's talk about normal things that we deal with sublimation, and that is the pressure point, right? You want to make sure when you're putting your wrap around, it's super, super tight, or you're going to end up with these. This is lack of pressure. Now you're going to go, Nikki, we're not putting it in heat press, or we're not using shrink wrap. So how is it your lack of pressure? It's all in how you tape it, okay? Again, you can see where I was getting it and why it's important to go slow. So let's just jump right into it. I'm going to switch my camera over. Okay, so the heat gun that I'm using is the Wagner. Now they have ones that are, this one was like $30 at the Home Depot. So you can definitely get one of those. Now you can get one with a temperature gauge. I literally put it on the highest setting. All right. I've already pre-cut all of my stuff, and you're actually going to be able to, and I'm going to tell you because Bo's going to miss telling you, I'm giving away designs for everybody. You won't get them until next week, just because Bo's been busy and he needs a vacation already.
Oh, so we are giving away the designs?
Yes, we are. We're doing it.
I tell them
and what I did was, look what I did for you. This is actually in the shape that you need it in. So it's already ready. It's really user-friendly. So let's just start out with this one right here. So this
Email me at FridayLive@Condi.com for those designs. Put in there that you want the sassy bundle.
The sassy bundle.
Sass me up.
Hashtag
sass me up.
So what I do is when I'm wrapping my tumbler designs, I literally set it on the table and I make sure that my image hits the table. Now, just like everything else, you got to use those thumbs. You give your thumbs quite the workout with this. Okay. You're just going to push it in and get your center seam. Let me get my tape in here. Now you're going to see me tape this seam. I am going to use tape. I don't want you to think I'm just using one piece of tape and we're done. No, I am going to use tape. I'm just not going to use shrink wrap. And I am not going to be using a heat mug press. Then I'm going to come up. I'm going to walk this up. And I'm going to push with my thumbs. So this paper is getting pushed under this side. Okay. And we're going to park it in underneath. And I'm going to tape it because I want this to stay. So I'm going through and I'm taping the top and the bottom points. And then I'm going to go in and tape the seam. Again, push it under so it's nice and tight. Bringing this around. Bringing around town. Sorry. Phineas and Ferb reference. Maybe it was SpongeBob. I don't know. So then I'm going to go through and tape that seam down nice and tight. If you notice, I only used 3 pieces of tape. I could have used just one long piece of tape, but it's easier to handle smaller pieces. And I'm going to tighten it down. Now, the nice part about the tape that I'm using is it's kind of stretchy. Now I'm going to come through. I see that I missed a spot and tape it. Now, if you're unsure of everything and you're about to question everything in your life, you can tape the top and the bottom of this. And I will do that just to show you. You can tape the top and the bottom. This tape may end up, as you're heating it up, start to come off. You're just going to rub it back down. Again, this is completely caution to the wind at this point. I got to see this. I got to see if this actually works. Is she going to make it work? So I'm going to get a long piece of tape. And I'm going to start at the top. And I'm going to literally pull it all the way around. And then I'll do the bottom. I won't need as long because it is smaller. I always start at my seam. I don't know why, probably because it just gives me a point to start with. And I pull it so tight I snap it. When Bo asked me to do this, I asked him if he thought I was crazy. Okay.
Hey, Nikki, can you do this method with the board method combined?
Well, of course not. What I will say is this is not a method you can use on soft substrates. So the board method is great for your soft substrates. You're not going to want to use this method when you're doing anything like towels, garden flags. You're just not going to want to do it. Now, can you use it on ornaments and stuff on the fly? You can. But again, you're going to want to perfect your method first. This is great for drinkware. But at the end of the day, you're really just going to want to make sure you perfect your method. You tape it to where it needs to be. And you're like, Nikki, I just need a heat press. Sometimes where this comes in handy is getting in underneath the handles. But sometimes we don't want to turn on our heat press. And we need to just do something that's this big, right? So how do you do that? You lay it on your heat press. You use your heat gun, use the natural pressure, and it will off gas. When you add heat, it doesn't matter if there's pressure or not. When you add heat, it's going to off gas. Let me just go one step further. You see this guy right here? This was the very first thing I decided I was going to do. And it's that, what are these? The plastic, call them something. And I showed Bo and I go, it works. Like it actually works. So now I said to him just earlier, I need to now do the whole process and whatnot, because I was scared. I was nervous it was going to work. And I didn't actually have to use an insert for this. I just used the heat gun. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this up to the highest temperature, which I believe is 1200. I know that sounds crazy, but it's 1200 BTUs. You're not going to want to have it on top of this. Okay. And you're going to want to go back and forth and you're going to keep turning it. Heat gloves are an absolute must because this guy gets really hot really fast. It doesn't take long. You're going to ask me how long does it take? Well, they timed me. And depending on which one it was, it could take me about 3 minutes or it could take me up to 5 minutes, depending on if I'm talking to somebody, the kids come in and ask me a question. I let this warm up first. I let this whole thing warm up before I get started. And I start at the seam. And then I just literally will go back and forth and just keep going back and forth. What is this going to do? Well, it's basically just now allowing for off-gassing. As this tumbler heats up, as you can see, I'm rotating it through. You will start to see your image through the paper, depending on the paper you're using. This particular paper. Oh, see, look, the tape came up. Don't worry, don't fret it. Just lay the tape back down. Just means I didn't stick it hard enough onto the. You just want to keep moving it. Keep moving your heat. You're thinking, Nikki, you're crazy for doing it this way. Well, a lot of times it's because I want to do under the handle. It had nothing to do with these. I would probably use my tumbler press for this. But some people don't have a tumbler press. Some people are just tired of using, their convection oven. Which is honestly, I get. You could do pet bowls with this. If you wanted to do a pet bowl, you could just tape the pet bowl and not have to worry about the shrink wrap for it. Some people just struggle. It's where this comes into. This is a struggle for some people. And that's all it is. So now what I'm doing is I'm going back and forth. I'm having it about 1 inch to 1.5 inches from the substrate. And I'm just going to go back and forth like a typewriter. And eventually you will start to see your image come through. Now, if you start to see your paper brown, don't get upset about it. Believe it or not, our paper will brown even in our heat presses and our mug presses. So it doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. You just don't want to cook the paper. You don't want to be getting a crispy paper because then it means you held it in that spot for too long. Keep going around. I should have had you time me, Bo. And keep going around.
Oh, I'm timing you.
I bet you are. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to do probably about 3 or 4 passes all the way around. What I'll also do is come up here through the top and just hit the heat at the top of this. It is hot. So I try to keep my hand out of the way of this heat gun because it's very hot. And then what I'm looking for is to see if I can see any bleed through of this. Because sometimes you can see the bleed through the paper. That's why we use protective paper with our stuff, because you can actually bleed through the paper and it can get on other things. So what you're looking for is that. I'm going to come down the seam again. Really hit that seam because that's our weakest point on anything we do when it comes to our drinkware is our seam. Now, will I get this 100%? Probably not, because I'm live, and that's just the way nature, tends it to be. It's just having me show you that it's not going to work that way. So you get it nice and tight in there. Now I'm going to rotate it again. Really make it nice and tight. Now I know where the image is, so I really want to make sure that I hit it nice and tight on there. Give it a lot of heat. I can see my truck. It's hard for you guys to see it on the camera, but I can see my truck through the paper. I'm going to get up into this top portion right here. I can only imagine what the advertising team at Condi's thinking right now. What is she doing? It helps in a pinch.
It's just me here, Nikki, and I've already been thinking this for a few years now.
I just did it for you.
No. That what is she thinking? It's only been like 3 or 4 years since I've been wondering that about you.
I did the board method. Yep. But you know what? That's why we're friends, Bo.
Yeah. I love it. I love the board method. It really works. Maybe next time we'll have you do a tie with the board method. That's a little easier.
I did the tie this weekend using the board method.
Yeah.
And it blew people's minds that you can take something as small as our platens and make them bigger, because it makes life just so much easier for us. Again, this is not going to be a method used by everyone. This is a quick pinch. This is a great, if you're on the fly, you don't want to heat it up. Maybe your heat press died, your mug press died, because that's what always happens. You're in the middle of a project and your mug press dies. That's a real thing.
Well, you can get into more the one you're doing right now, you can't do like on a standard Geonite mug press without the attachment.
Correct.
So you want to get into
this one first.
You want to get into it, but you don't want to invest yet,
Right, exactly. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm just about done. I'm just going to
I think if I'm not wrong, I remember you did one like that mug, the coffee mug in front of you, the SS Mug 15-W, where it has the crease at the bottom, the line.
Yes, we're actually going to do that.
You can get in that area too, right?
Yeah. But I'm going to do that one next. Except it's going to be where I didn't do the bottom piece. What I want you to have success at is going underneath the handle with the heat press or the heat gun. So this is the one we're going to press. Can you tell? That's what we're gonna heat next. Okay. So let's see how well I did, because
someone asked you about the board method on here. They said board method, so they'll have to check that out. Nikki puts like a blanket. I think we did a beach towel is what it was.
Yeah. So what I do is I take a board and I put it on my bottom platen. And what it does is it makes my bottom platen bigger so that things aren't drooping, because that, you don't want your paper drooping over the side of your press. It allows for your paper just to lay flat.
And your press is, if I remember, a 15x15?
That one is a 16x20.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready. Wrong camera.
Over.
What?
Hold on. Let me fix my camera.
Ooh, look at that.
Like, it's gorgeous. She's gorgeous. Okay. So now, let's flip that camera back over. One of the things we talk about is wanting to do underneath the handle. We want that full bleed because we don't want something like this. This is what bothers us. So here's one I did many, many moons ago. And we end up with this weird, like...
Oh, change your camera, Nikki.
Oh. You can't see me in the little one?
That's
can't
better.
See me in the little one? Okay. So this is the I have two cameras on. I don't know how you didn't see me. So this is that gap. We dread this gap. We want to be able to have it a full bleed around, just because we just like the aesthetics of it.
Is that gap even on both sides? Because that's something
on this particular one, no.
That's something that's hard to do. I usually try and use my thumbs or something.
Yes, and that's another thing. So by doing this, just leave that there. By doing this, it allows for us to wrap this right around. Condi provides the templates so that you can just do the cutouts, which is a beautiful thing. I didn't have to do any guesswork. I like it when they don't make me guess things. That's always nice.
Me too.
All right, let's get this There we go. So now what I'm going to do is shift this because, believe it or not, these have to line up. There we go. So again, you're going to want to use that same idea. You're going to want to take your thumbs and pull this as tight as you can to get in underneath this handle. Because this is where the problem is. Again, you could put this right in your mug press. If you want to put it in your mug press, you can. But if you want to have a full bleed, once you take it out of your mug press, you can hit it with the heat gun so you can get in underneath that handle. Because we can't with our mug presses. It's just not allowed.
I'm just saying, so you bought the paper like that. Unless I missed something I don't understand. You printed that and then cut it that way, right?
Yes, the template. There's a template that Condi has that has it to where the notches, you just cut out the notches.
It doesn't matter what kind of paper you use. Well, yes, in Condi's class it does. We prefer if you use the SPP paper because that's our paper here at Condi. But you can also use beaver paper and any sort of sublimation paper.
Yep.
Do you believe in the copy paper in sublimation?
I tested that out. So, believe it or not, in a pinch, you can use copy paper. But let me explain something real quick. When you're going to use copy paper, just know you're leaving a lot of your investment, which is your ink, on that paper. But can it do in a pinch? You're at that 11 o'clock hour. You forgot to order paper. You don't know what to do. You've got a job that's got to be done. You absolutely can use copy paper. Just remember, you're leaving a lot of money on the table, or in this case, on the paper. So yes, you can use a premium. Yes, you can use a standard copy paper, but when the day is done, you really want to use the products that it's meant for. And that's, again, your regular sublimation paper. But I also understand that we are human and we forget to do things. So I tested it out and it works good on either type of substrate, whether it's a hard substrate or a soft substrate. And what I'm doing right now is just taping around this seam because there's a lot of things going on right here right now. And I just really want to make sure that it's taped down. We would have done that whether it was on our mug press, whether it was in our convection oven. This is a sensitive spot on this particular mug because that's a lot of different types of seams and you want to get it to lay down. But again, back to the paper, use the products that it's meant to be used for. Yes, I know. I will say to you, Bo will say to you, use a mug press, use a convection oven. And then here comes Nikki stormtrooping out with, let's just use a heat gun. So all right.
No, I think I wasn't actually timing, but I feel like it took you about less than 10 minutes on that.
Oh yeah, it probably took me longer because I was talking, but it only takes me less than, you can time me, but it's going to take me less than probably 5 minutes, not even, to do
What kind of tape do you use?
Well, this is a yellow tape. It is a sublimation tape. There are a couple different types of tape. I can't remember if Condi has this one. And the only reason why I like this one is because it stretches. And so it allows for a nice tighter a way around it. I can't remember if you guys have the yellow or not, to be honest with you. So,
ours is. I'm not a big I don't know much about tape, to be honest with you.
It just has to be sublimation tape. If you're using Scotch tape and it's melted, don't come at me because you used the wrong tape.
Some heat tapes also will leave like the yellow or the coloring of the red or something blue.
Yep. So here we go. We're going to start this. It's not going to take me long. I'm going to make sure that I get in here and do all the things that I need to do. And that is, I know my image. I know where the image is. I know what it's going to look like. I know what I need to have done to this. So I'm just going to keep going along here. And I'm just back and forth, add it in. This cup will get very hot. So it's going to be off-gassing as this cup heats up. It's going to be off-gassing in other areas. It's not going to be just where this heat is. So I'm just going to keep going around.
So we got a question here.
Yeah.
How do you know when it's done?
That is a great question. So I used one type of paper and I could see my image through. I just recently switched my paper and it's harder to see my image through. It just becomes a feel, so to speak. I could see my image come through the paper a little bit more. And also if I start to see that my paper is browning, I will look and know. It's hard because we don't even know when we're doing a mug press. We don't know what our paper looks like. You're just kind of guessing at that point. So it's a method. It's a method that you decide if you want to use it or not. I just happen to know that on my seams, if I can see my ink seeping through, that it's probably a good idea that I'm close. I'm really just getting in here because this has got a light. Oh, this has got a lot of light spots in this, but this is really rich in color. I really want to make sure that rich in color spot gets a lot of the heat. Because again, I am defying science right now. We're supposed to have pressure, and we're having pressure of what I did. So I don't know. This is fun. I love discovering new things just because, and this isn't necessarily a new thing. It's been around. People are doing it. It's just I'm bringing it back to the forefront that this is a possibility. All right, we're getting there.
So if the inside of a mug, like, so the stuff you're doing right now is stainless steel, and the inside of that is definitely not coated, I'm pretty sure. But some mugs are dipped and not sprayed. You could do the inside of it potentially with this method.
Well, I thought about it. If I went like this,
yeah,
and done it that way, it took longer, especially with these type of mugs, than it did if I just put it on the top. Because there's the air in between.
Science.
Yep.
What heat gun are you using? It looks like you are using a Wagner, but
yep, it is the Wagner. It's $27.99 over at Home Depot. You can get one that has a temperature gauge on it. Of course, it is a little bit more expensive. But honestly, in a pinch, this is working. Let me just get in here underneath this handle, really give it some love, because this handle is, again, if you're going to have issues with a design, it's going to be at the handle if you're going to do a full bleed.
I just want to say something. We got Ashley in here, and she's been in a lot of classes and asking a lot of questions and a lot of interest. Hey, Ashley, if you have questions and we don't get a chance to answer them, or if you have something later, email me at that Friday Live email address. I'll put it up here. This one right here, fridaylive@condi.com. My name is Bo, and I can help you or get you with someone if you need someone, if I don't know the answer, because I love your enthusiasm and all that. And anyone else, email me at fridaylive@condi.com. I can help you out too.
Yeah, and you can always reach out to me as well. I'm always alive with Condi. They give me the strange things to do, like a full blanket or a full towel.
Now, this mug you have, wait, I forget which one you're doing now that I can't see it.
It's the handle.
Okay, so we're doing the SS Mug 15?
Yes.
All right, this one right here is my favorite travel mug that we have. I have, I think, 2 of them at home that go with me on trips.
Sorry, I didn't realize my camera wasn't there.
They keep your coffee on a road trip warm the whole time.
Oh yeah, and they also keep your like ice in there for hours upon hours. I love that too.
Even down here in the South. But what was the question I was going to? Oh, the handle. You can do the handle on those mugs, I believe.
Yes. So what you can do, yes, you can do the handle. So not only with the heat gun could you go in and do a full bleed underneath, you could actually come up with a design and come all the way around the handle and use the heat gun on it. So, and now is just allowed for more possibilities for you to do something. If you struggle with this line in here, you can add just a piece of paper or design right to this bottom half. Yes, there's going to be a seam, but line it up with your seam. It'll make more sense. It's going to allow for you to bring your paper down a little bit further, because shrink wrap can kind of, and I'm not knocking shrink wrap. I use shrink wrap, but sometimes it can bunch your design. So we have to stop. So now this is just going to give you an opportunity to try other hard substrates that you're like, I don't know. I'm not sure I can do that. So
I actually think that this is a better way to do the handle. Like even on, I don't quote me on this. Don't call your sales rep and tell them that Bo said this. I'm pretty sure that all of our mugs, like our ceramic mugs, the handles can be sublimated.
Yes, they can. I've done them.
I don't want to say all of them because I'm afraid.
Well, definitely the 15 ounce, because I have your 15 ounce.
Yeah. And I think this is the best way. And we have people asking, there is no shrink wrap involved in this. None at all.
I am defying the laws of gravity and science right now. The people are like, seriously?
Someone's asking if you can ever put too much heat on the mug. And you can put too much heat. And our heat gun thing here, sorry, words are hard at this point. What is ours is 700 and 1500 watts, I believe.
Yeah.
You know,
And so, yes. So this one is, I think, 750. I want to say it's 750 and 1200 maybe. But here
so
we go.
yeah, you're
There's
going to
the
want to
two.
be around that. If you're going to get one, you're probably not going to want to use the thing that the hair dryer. You'll burn that out.
No, you don't want to use a hair dryer because a hair dryer doesn't get hot enough. That's why you need to use a heat gun, because we already use it in heat gun for shrink wrap, right? So you already have it in your wheelhouse. And what's $30 in the scheme of things when you can add value to what you do? I guess
honestly, you're going to find more things to do with that heat gun than you ever thought you could do around the house and around your shop and everything.
Yep.
Now here's something I don't know, because our mugs are either spray coated or dipped. I don't know if the bottoms all have the polymer spray coating on them.
So I just heard a challenge. I heard challenge. And do you want me to see if it works?
Yeah. Let's see if we could do something.
I love me a good challenge.
Thank you, Stephanie. This is live. This is live.
This is totally on the fly, so I'm not sure if it's gonna work. Don't come at me. Okay, so here we're gonna do this completely on the fly. Everybody who knows who I am, I love a good challenge accepted. You do want to go in. You want to take off the sticker off the bottom. You might want to use some rubbing alcohol to get the sticker off. We're just going on the fly right now. So here's the bottom of the mug that we're going to do right now. And it does not match this one at all. But you know what? We're here for it.
Jeff's asking about too much pressure. And yes, you do have to worry about too much pressure, because you will, on ceramic, break the mug. You can probably bend that stainless steel one in there.
So what I'm doing, it's hard to see because I don't have my camera done.
And if you do add too much heat, the paper will begin to burn and the inks will burn.
Yeah, I mean, it is a problem. So what I'm doing right now is just extra paper.
Well, you went crazy there for a minute with your voice as it went into your closer to your throat.
Oh, sorry.
My beard gets in the way. So Evelyn, I believe, I don't know how many classes we've had, 15, I guess. This is her 15th class and her mind is still being blown. So that's got to be a good thing, right?
Is that Evelyn?
Yeah.
Listen, I intrigue that woman. I know who Evelyn is. Yes, she is one of my members and I intrigue her every day. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. This is me thinking through the process. I have not done this yet, so we're going to just test it out. I love a good challenge me moment, because what this is going to do is it allows for me to figure it out so you don't have to. So we're just going to come in here because you don't know. And you're like, you know what? I like it when somebody else screws it up so that I don't have to.
Yeah. If you screw it up, we'll send you another one.
Right? And that's how that works.
With more things.
Right? This is the perks of, the things. Now, my only concern, and I will tell you this right now, is this has some give to it. So that's going to be an issue for me. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to come down in here and I'm going to put my thumb right into that seam.
You can do it, Nikki.
I can do it, right? No pressure.
Miriam's asking if there's Pro Spray on there, and there's no Pro Spray.
No, there's absolutely nothing. Like I said, defying the laws of everything we know in sublimation.
And Evelyn Warner, who I am going to one of these days go to Disney World with, her mind is blown there for sure too.
I love me some Evelyn Warner.
We got Chuck. Nikki's always thinking outside the box. Chuck, I'll email you. I got your email. Thank you.
Chuck won yesterday.
Yeah, congratulations again, Chuck. I've got my list here. Just so you can see, I'm going to switch over here for a second, Chuck. I've got my list here, and I am email winners, okay? Plus Chuck. You see me doing it. This is my to-do Monday list.
As if the man doesn't have enough to do.
After the dust settles here,
right?
And all the elephants leave the circus.
Yes, and you left the biggest elephant to last. I'm the elephant in the room. All right. So what I'm doing,
purposely put you here, Nikki, because you're the best. And
I am a great energy boost before
yes.
your live earlier. Next.
And I knew I could trust you to do this.
Okay, so I over-taped this because there is this really big gap here, and I can feel it. So I'm not sure how this is going to work, but you guys are here for it and you want it. So let's try it. This might be a good way too. Let's just backtrack. If you didn't do a full bleed, if you just wanted to put something like in the center of that rim, like your logo, let me give you an example. So as you can see, there's this divot. You could probably tape something within this divot piece, and that could be where your logo sits. You can look at all of them. Any place there's a divot, put it inside. I'm literally going to try to come up and around this. But if it were for me, I would just put it right inside here. And now I've branded my stuff. All right.
So now people will know where they got it. They'll remember how to reorder.
Yes, because that's huge. Let me just move my thing. Okay. All right, we ready? Oh God.
I don't know. What if we're not?
I'm not sure I'm ready. Not sure I'm ready for this, but we're gonna do it anyway. So as you can see, I'm holding the paper down. As I'm doing this, pushing that paper down.
Yes, Evelyn, you are Evelyn at Creative Expressions. I love Evelyn. She's got like she has the greatest smile.
And
sorry.
the best laugh.
Yes. Sorry, Nikki, but her smile is just the energy and it makes me happy. And you've got the energy and she's got the smile.
Yeah, Evelyn and I have decided that we can't be in the same room and it would be an explosion.
But Evelyn, from Creative Expressions, you can come down to Disney World too with us, because Nikki's coming as well. I'm inviting her.
Right.
In the wintertime, though.
My goal is to still head to Condi.
You could have a sassy little message on the bottom of your cup.
Yeah, I mean, you could put some sort of inspirational saying there. I mean, think of all the funny things you could put on the bottom of that mug.
Or just a mustache, so that when you
are
drinking it.
I mean, there's a lot of ways you could go with this. All right, I'm trying to make sure that it's pushed down into there. I'm not sure that it's getting inside of that rim piece, but I definitely will tell you could put something inside that other piece. I'm trying to do the full thing. And the fact that it's, I don't know. We'll see when I go to peel this tape off.
Yeah, people are saying you can put bottoms up on there.
Yes.
On the bottom.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to just stop it for now. So I will definitely say right out of the gate, I would not try to put this up over before I even peel it back to see if I actually did something amazing. Definitely just put it inside this little divot on any of your mugs. Tape it down really good, and now you can brand your own stuff.
Nikki, we have something we call, we dubbed it, it's Smack Talking Fridays in the office here.
Yeah.
Because we made it through the week, we get to celebrate. I thought you said you weren't going to use a lot of tape.
Thanks, Lisa.
But did she say that?
Yes. Lisa gets on me about how much tape I use sometimes. And it's not because I want to use a lot of tape. I don't. But because I was not fully prepared to be doing the bottom of this.
Yeah.
Do I get at least a get out of free jail card? Okay.
I see something.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely something. So can you do it? Yes. The theory is yes, you can do it. So yes, you can do it, but you see how it's blurry, and it's because there's this ridge. So it's not going in there flat. Whereas if you were just to go in to this.
Are we going to do it again?
Just the center.
Yeah. You got time. You got extra time too. So don't worry about that.
So we're just going to put just some random design in here that fits in this center. Because that's what we're going to want to do. You're going to want to brand your content. And this is just random designs because why not? So now, if you're going to brand your content, brand your stuff, right? Let me just move this out of my way because this is a mess. you're going to only want to put it inside this piece right here. You're not going to want to do this full bleed kind of thing because, again, you've got to be able to get up and around the ridges. This is adding insult to injury, as you can see, but you can tell that it does work. So we're here for the working.
Do you think if you did just the outside edge, it would work and didn't get it in the middle?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you do the inside edge, though, it makes for a great label, permanent label. So the outside edge you could, but the problem you're going to run into is this right here and coming up and around that curve.
Okay. Miriam, I wish you were coming into Mobile this week, tomorrow, because we got a really, really good deal on a demo unit mug press.
Okay, so I only put 4 pieces of tape, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, 5 pieces of tape. So we're going to just hit it with the heat press or the heat gun. I keep saying heat press. This won't take long at all, but this is how you can brand your content, brand your stuff. I was teaching a class about branding your content, and it's still stuck in my brain.
Where, for everyone watching, Nikki, where are you going next? Are there any new trips coming? Am I putting you on the spot here?
Actually, the next place you'll actually find me is Impressions Long Beach. I'm headed to Long Beach in January, which I'm super excited about. And so I'll be heading to Long Beach for January, and then I'm headed to Biloxi in April, and then Texas in June.
Well, I'll definitely see you in April.
In Biloxi?
Yeah, that's only like 35 minutes from my house.
Well, you better come visit.
I know.
All right, let's see how we did. Perfect. Okay. So again, you could go in, remember, this was just a design thing. You're going to want to wash this off because there is some residue, and that's what I can see is the residue from the sticker. But you can totally brand your stuff. Now you're able to brand the bottom of your items. That is something that we've been wanting to do, is be able to put funny sayings on the bottom when you're drinking your coffee cup. Those are just the funny things that you can now add. What this does is it just opens up a little bit more possibilities for what you can do. It's not something that it's going to be for everybody. And I understand that. This is not for everybody. But it is something that you can do. Now, Bo, do you want me to try to attempt this one too while we're at it? Because you said I have time.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what that one is, though. It's a polymer 30 ounce.
It is a polymer. We're just going to use this design I happen to have, so it might not like fit all the way around, and that's okay too. We're just doing it so I could show you that it does work.
But let me find that part number on that.
You got it.
Sorry,
it's going to be upside down because, again, this was not something I was planning to do, but we're going to do it anyway. So one of the things that I struggled with is I don't have the insert for the polymer. And honestly, I was like, okay, well, this is just one more thing I would have to buy to get it. And I'm not sure if they would sell. So until then, well, what do I do? What do I do to be able to do these items?
I dropped the link in the chat description, and that is the TUM 225. Perfect.
Now, again, this is the rigid one, so I'm not sure how this is going to come out, but this was something I needed to do. And it was just something I said, you know what? I just need to try it. People get intimidated by little things. Mug press, heat press, convection oven, when to use, not when to use. I'm celebrating 5 years of teaching come August. So
well,
I
always find I'm afraid to start.
That's the problem. The biggest, I said this in my class this week. The scariest thing is the one you didn't take. The scariest step is the one you didn't take. So there is nothing scary about sublimation. And it seems intimidating. It seems like this should be really hard. And it's not. It's a process. Like anything else in crafting, it's an absolute process. So again, the scariest moment is the one you didn't take. All right. I'm not sure this is going to work because, again, this has all those ridges on it. But, again, we are here to find out if it does. We know for a fact it works on these guys right here. And that's a gorgeous color. We know that it works on these. You watched me do it on these. So we know that it works. It's a method that works. Now comes the time where I want to see what more I can put it on. What other things can I do that I can use this method for? Because now I gotta know all the things.
So you're getting a lot of congratulations too, by the way, for the 5 years, and I want to say congratulations.
Thank you.
That's quite an achievement.
I've been teaching a long time, and I've pressed a lot of things, and I'm very fortunate that people like Condi see my worth. You see my worth. So
so at one point at this 5 years, you had to start, and I'm sure you were a little scared and worried, and
a lot of tears. Absolutely. Tears.
And I'm sure that there's sometimes you still doubt yourself.
Hold on one second. There we go.
It's good surrounding yourself with people that support you.
Yes. Yes.
There was one day I was having a really hard day, and I guess the world just sent it out to you. That was the day where you sent me something, and I was like, "Are you looking at me?"
Because I just knew you were having a rough day.
Yeah.
And it's nice to know that you have a friend in the fight.
Yeah.
So I just knew that you needed, in that moment, you just needed me to answer it. So now what we're going to do is, again, this is the one with the ridges on it. I've been wanting to know the answer to this. I'm not really sure if it was going to work, what it's going to do, but I knew it worked on the top. So I knew I could do it on the top. It was a question of whether or not I could do it on the bottom. And another question of this became if I had to use the insert. So that was another thing when I was thinking about it. Sometimes you just have to just jump in. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to mess up a substrate. Nobody's going to die tomorrow if you mess up something. And it teaches you. This is going to teach you, one, the limits. You're going to push limits, and that's what we're doing. We're pushing limits today as to what we know in sublimation. I mean, there's so many things that are out there that people are trying that, and there came a point when, how did we know that we could sublimate on HTV glitter, right? Somebody had to have taken the chance and said, this is going to work, and then show it to the world. So that's where this all comes in. Now I'm sitting here and I'm going back and forth just like I would anything else. I'm trying to really make sure I give a lot of heat to these because, again, there's ridges on this. And 100%, I can tell you, I am not sure if this is going to work. And that's okay. Now, I will say I did try this on an ornament. I did try it on an insert. So like if you're at a craft fair and you don't want to bring your heat press or your mug press or anything like that, could you do it on the fly? You could, just as long as you practice beforehand, just so you know what you need to do. I, again, said you shouldn't do it on anything that's a fabric because it can burn the fabric. Our drinkware takes a lot of abuse, essentially. I mean, it has pressure and everything on, that has your drinkware. So you have a lot of pressure there. And it's meant to take that pressure. Whereas, and the high heat, not saying that our soft substrates don't, it's just a different beast. So there is that. Going in through here, really giving it some love. Hopefully I've inspired somebody to try it out, just to try it out. Let's see. So I'm just going around through. Again, not even remotely sure what time. I always want to say what time, temp, and pressure. What time and temp I'm doing this at. I'm just kind of, you notice I got too close to the paper. I did burn the paper a little bit.
Hey, Nikki, I've been sitting here talking to you and you were ignoring me.
It helps if you unmute yourself.
No, I guess I found out the limit for how long a microphone will last. The battery died.
I thought you muted me. I thought you really muted me. Okay, let's see. I'm going to add a little bit more. You're like, now why isn't she answering me?
Yeah, I was singing for you because someone was saying, hey, Nikki, you're so fine, you blow my mind. Hey, Nikki. You missed it. Someone was asking where the best place to buy mugs was, and it's Condi.com.
No, they didn't. Oh my God.
And I was like, man, she's not even listening to me. No one was responding.
The goal is to see how fast they can turn my face red. Okay. Do you see that?
I do. That looks pretty good right there.
Right? Okay, so the only place where I would have to work on it is I was kind of not really good at my seam because that's where my seam is. But neither here nor there. If I go and I make sure it's really nice and tight, look at it. It works.
Yeah.
Look at the color.
And you have your heat gun at the highest setting, right?
Yeah. Look at that color. So, okay, so minor mistakes and things that you would just have to work through. I got to show you, right? I got to show you up close. Like this is unbelievable, the color. Look at
that. See, that's awesome. And even it doesn't look that bad butting up against the where the mug expands out.
Right, this part right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I just paid a little bit more attention to my seam, and I had this, sized correctly and whatnot, it literally went into all of those little divots. I mean, look at that turtle. Look at the turtle.
So if you took your time, you could easily turn that into a full coverage mug or a tumbler.
Yes, you absolutely could. See, this allows to expand off of the possibilities of what we can do and what we can accomplish. Full bleed mugs now. Again, you can use your mug press, but then if you want to hit under the handle, use your heat gun. If you don't have a mug press and you're tired of fighting with shrink wrap because it's just not your thing, maybe a heat gun will help you. As long as you're not mass producing things, then yes, you could go in with a heat gun. You can now put your logo on the bottom of all of your drinkware. Yep. All of your drinkware. Now, because you can use the heat gun. So this heat gun is just another tool that you're going to be able to add to your wheelhouse. I'm not saying it's going to replace things. I don't want it to replace things. No. I'm going to use my mug press as much as I possibly can because I don't want to sit here and hold it. But there are times when it becomes a thing that
and you could also fill in bare spots. Email me at Friday Live.
Yes. So as you're peeling something back, and this is a good mug to. So and if you slowly do it, believe it or not, if you tape this correctly and you slowly start to peel this back and you notice that you have some white spots quickly before you pull it all off, quickly re-put that down and then go back through and hit it again. Like if you're seeing when you go to slowly peel this off that you have some pressure issues, you can go through. Maybe you struggle with your tumbler press, right? And so you've got your tumbler attachment, and you struggle with this here and here. Hit it with the heat gun. You don't actually need the pressure, which defies everything we're taught, but it allows for you to get into the places that you struggle with. This is just to help with the struggle. That's all this is at the end of the day.
And this will work with sublimation markers like Artistry and the Sublimation.
We did the Artistry markers. We absolutely did. So you can use them with that, and it's just a quick, and you're done.
Yeah.
The Artistry markers, I got to play with them this past week, are amazing. We actually use the Artistry markers, and I will show you, Bo. You got to see it on freestanding lace.
Oh, man.
Isn't that gorgeous? These are freestanding lace butterflies that we use the Artistry markers on. And I mean, aren't they gorgeous?
Did you happen to watch Stephanie's class yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I didn't know you could do lace and all that. And like, haven't seen Stephanie in a while. And I was like really blown away with, the intricate stuff she was working with. And
yep, we did a whole at AG in Texas. We did a whole live on it, or a whole demo on just the Artistry markers and the things you can do with them. And it was a great collaboration with an embroidery person, Libby Ashcraft, who represents Artistry. And it was just a great collaboration effort with all of us coming in and on the possibilities that you can use. I mean, you could write your signature on a piece of paper, sign your signature and slap that to the bottom and use your heat gun. There you go.
Yeah.
Again, lots of possibilities that you can do in
And
this.
Condi we have acrylic ornaments and acrylics like
Yes.
panels and glass. Those like cutting boards, those you don't have to mirror. So you can just go with your regular old handwriting, the regular picture, and apply it right to it. And
yep, absolutely. Now you're going to ask me, hey, Nikki, can I use the heat gun on something like a cutting board? I would shy away from that and use your heat press. It's not something that I would use the heat gun for. Again, this is for those hard to reach places.
Oh, that was someone had a question about a coaster, a hardboard coaster.
You can, but you're going to really want to tape it down because, again, you don't want the gap. You don't want that air gap. You want that paper as tight. So this is where your Condi Pro Spray will come in handy because the Condi Pro Spray allows for your paper to stick evenly onto your substrate.
I'm going to go grab something because I've got to show something and a question, and I'm going to get something to show and tell. So I'll be back in 1 second.
Show and tell time. I love show and tell time. I'm going to go to the comments here and see what you guys are all up to. Now, my question is, do you guys feel that this is something that you may try? Or do you think that this is so far right left field that you wouldn't? And here's why I'm asking. A lot of times when we're doing things in sublimation, there's things that we don't try that we don't know if it's going to work. And having just one more thing in your wheelhouse is just going to help you have a much more successful business. Again, this may allow for us to go in here as we're tapering our stuff down and not have to worry about shrink wrap. Because I know a lot of people who have arthritis struggle terribly with shrink wrap. And that's where this kind of helped me to go. And story is a friend of mine who has arthritis. She has problems with her hand. These are kind of things, making things tight, that tape tight. So this is definitely something. I'm definitely trying it tomorrow. You guys always make my lives here at Condi just so much fun. You guys all show up to the party. I love when Sassy Nation shows up. So thank you, Sassy Nation, for showing up and supporting me, knowing that I don't feel good today.
All right, Nikki, I'm back. I just ran around the office trying to find things.
I'm here for it.
So we have some products like let me get on the screen here.
That would be helpful.
I'm gonna go full screen on this. We have some products like our tile and our slate and stuff. Whew, I gotta catch my breath. And the slate has areas on the side. If you've done slate, use the rubber to go over it. You could hit these areas with the heat gun when you're done.
Yes.
To make sure that you fill in all of the edges. And with like the tiles, with them having, you see how, which one is it? This one. It comes over like this.
Mm-hmm.
You can use the heat gun for stuff like that and make sure you get a really good all the way around. And then we also have tiles like this that you could get the sides and it just really fills it in and honestly makes it look a lot more professional and clean.
Like I said, it's not meant to take the place of, it's meant to just help.
Yeah. Once you saw, I was like, oh, that would, because the slate, sometimes you don't get those.
It's the corners. It's the little chiseled parts. Yeah, those little chiseled parts can kind of be difficult when you're doing. So now
you blew my mind. I had to run all the way across the Condi headquarters here, Condi Towers, and
listen. It helps though. Again, this is now going to just. When life closes the door, it's opening a window. Maybe you were struggling with something, and this is just giving you another opportunity to do something different.
Somebody said, it was Evelyn, I believe, Warner said that she liked your earrings, and someone said they like my shorts. Thank you. I've got my my red. They're like my Magnum PI shorts.
I'm always having to have at least teal because that's my brand color, and they pick on me when I don't wear it. So that's why. If I'm not wearing teal, they have a fit. Like, you're not wearing teal. Are you feeling okay?
Oh, you always do, don't you?
I do. Everything is teal. And that's, again, and going back to that whole branding your product, it's going to allow for you to brand more of your product. Because how many times do you look in the bottom and you're like, oh,
I got to make you bigger. So there you go. You're the star here.
Yeah. So, you want to look, but the stuff that you could put on the bottom of here, you can make some really funny, maybe some adult content type of stuff, just kind of funny things on the bottom of these mugs now, because you're going to just go into that divot. I mean, we've struggled with it. We've tried to put it under the heat press. We've tried to put it in our tumbler presses. People have tried to put it in their convection ovens, and no one's ever really come out with and say, okay, this is what we need to do. Well, now we know what we need to do. You could cut out a bunch of circles and put your stuff on there. And that's what we've been talking about too, is branding our stuff. And how do we do it? How do we let people know who we are as sublimation people? And that's one of the things that you can do. I'm absolutely, I mean, I trashed this mug, but by putting that on the bottom of it. But let's get up right close. I'm going to get right close and personal of the mug we did. You can see that it is completely under here. Now we have a full
How is
wrap.
it? How is it around the handles? Is it good there too? That looks.
Yeah, I mean, well, the space is because of the template. I probably would
Yeah.
have done the template just slightly different, but that's just me. For me,
We have to make the templates work for everybody, so they
Right.
you should-
So how I would have done it is I would have just wrapped my papers to where it overlaps and then just snipped in so that it would lay on both sides of it. I wouldn't have had the little notches, but I wanted to use the Condi one that everybody uses so you guys could see it. That's the difference of being a graphics designer is we think outside the box all the time.
Yes.
So honestly, I mean, I'm pretty sure you can see it. I mean, it really is. You can't, I mean, if it were a seamless design, you wouldn't have been able to see my seam. So
And Ashley is saying if you are going to brand your mugs in an oven, don't do it beforehand because it will outgas off.
It will off gas. Yep. I will off gas.
So here's my question about branding, right?
Yeah.
I've been taking pictures and I do a lot of graphic design and stuff, and I never sign any of my work. Why? Probably because I'm not proud enough of it, maybe. I don't know. But once you put your name on that, it's yours. And I think it becomes more special, and you have to take accountability for it.
Right. So I want you to look at it this way: is you are your own worst critic.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So
this is great.
What I think is trash is another man's treasure. Think of it that way. What we think, because we're so hard on ourselves, that no one's going to want what we have. If you go and you look at my Etsy shop, it will show you that, okay, clearly I'm doing something right, even though there's probably a bunch of stuff in there that I'm not exactly proud of. But somebody else, Joe Schmo the Eskimo, is going to say, you know what, this is absolutely what I needed and I loved it. So don't count yourself short. What we may see as being trashy, that it's not worth it, I don't want to put my name on it, somebody else is going to fall in love with it and it's going to sell for them. So you just have to learn to just put it all out there, because you never know. You never know when it comes to your stuff. Should you be branding your content? Yes. You should have signs in your pictures. You should be watermarking your stuff. Let people know, because we're looking at the greater picture. So as you're doing this stuff, keep branding yourself. And again,
have faith in yourself and
exactly
support yourself. You're your own worst critic. You're standing in your way. And you said something else too in there that was amazing, and I forget what it was.
Another man's trash is another man's treasure.
Oh, I was gonna say I have a mug at home that I've had, a long time, since the early 2000s ish.
Mm-hmm.
And a few years ago, I was looking at it and I'm like, that is not straight on there. I cannot believe that I never noticed that this design was straight. It's not an all over print and not going top to bottom. And I was drinking out of it for like 17 years before I noticed.
Right. And you know what? One of the biggest things is box stores. Box stores have no problems, and we are so hard on ourselves. Box stores will literally produce stuff and the seams won't line up. It'll be a mismatch print. And we're over here going, oh, it's got to be completely straight. We can't have any seams. And we overthink the process. But when a day is done, if big box stores can produce this kind of stuff and we go and we buy it, that's the thing. We go and we buy it with the seams and the mismatch placement of things. So allow yourself some grace when you're doing sublimation. Not anything in life is perfect. If it was, it'd be manufactured by a robot. So there is that. As you can see, I brand everything. So brand everything you need. Somebody posted in here and I absolutely loved it. And she said, it was Stephanie. She goes, yes, I can now add my website to the bottom of her mug. You absolutely can. A QR code. Let's talk about the QR code. You can now
Oh.
add a QR code to the bottom of your mug. That QR code, when you flip it around, is now the key to the kingdom. Okay, that is a key to the kingdom. You can go make QR codes free over in Corel. You can also make a QR code free in Canva if you're a Canva user. Go make yourself a QR code and then have it be to like a link tree that tells them all about you, whether you have a website, an Etsy store, whatever it may be, your email address, a form to be on their email list. Add the QR code so that now it allows them the key to your kingdom, whatever it may be.
And I don't know, you just mentioned Linktree. I don't know if everyone knows what Linktree is in here. Linktree is absolutely amazing. It's a place where you can put your website and like
It's all listed.
Yeah, you can have like your Instagram and your website, your Facebook, everywhere to find you, and even send them to like your sales and whatever you want to. And it's awesome. It's amazing. It's free. You can also pay for it, and it's pretty cheap, I think.
Yeah. So a link tree just allows the links to everywhere you are. When everybody says, Nikki, where are you? I'm like, just search the Google and you'll find me. But that's exactly what that is. So put QR codes on things because they can take a picture of it. It's on the bottom of your mug and off you go. Off you go. It's a beautiful thing. We talked about this at class too, is you could put a QR code for a PayPal me, on your stuff. Oh, here, it's right here. You can brand yourself now. So brand yourself. It allows for more options at the end of the day. And, I think this is just going to help. I know it was the craziest thing I've probably ever done on a Condi Live. No, probably not.
No, we've got your next one. So that'll be the craziest. And then the one after that. Next time when Nikki's going to be on, she's going to be doing skydiving and sublimating with alligators into shark-infested water. Tune in next month for that.
In the bayou?
Yes. She will be. What product will you be doing? What's the heaviest product we have? I can't think of. Maybe you'll be.
Honestly, he likes to torture me, whether it's a towel that I have to do in the board method or a tie in the board method. He likes to put me to the challenge.
Well, we'll build you some wings out of some Unisub or Chromolux products and ship you out of an airplane.
Right? And do you want to know why he puts me to the challenge? Is because I am the challenge accepted. You put me to the challenge and like, go ahead and figure it out. And they love to watch the process. And that's what you guys like to watch. So I'm thankful you guys were all here. I mean, we had a killer amount of people watching. So
not going to say anything, but you beat Spencer and you also beat Stephanie from Caesar, so you can send her your bragging rights on that.
I love me some Stephanie, but I am so going to brag about that.
And if you haven't checked out Stephanie's class yet from yesterday, please do from Caesar.
She is a very dear friend of mine. That's one of the things about doing trade shows. I've met some absolutely amazing humans, and very dear friend of mine. So the fact that we can razz each other is nice.
Yes, and Caesar's an amazing company. Another shout out. I've never met Chris Gottfried from Forever, and Forever is the transfer paper side of Condi. That's handled with Mr. Doug DeWitt.
Yes.
But I will say that if you didn't see Chris yet and you haven't met him, that man brings the energy. He brings the sense of humor, and he brings it. And he may be the next one to beat in the energy department and all.
I don't know. Do I get at least a pass because I have a head cold today?
Yes, you do. But I was like, wow, this dude is amazing.
He is. You guys have had,
Chris.
Honestly, Bo, though, you guys have had some pretty amazing educators coming in and people just coming in and sharing their wealth of knowledge. I was sitting working in the shop and I was listening to them, kind of like a podcast, listening to them, and I'm absorbing everything they're saying. And Doug said earlier that, and he was always Cheryl, he said earlier that these would be on the YouTube channel. One of the things that I love to do is put Condi on replay and just listen, because there are times I might not catch it live. I might not catch that little bit of a nugget live, and that's the same way I am too, but I'll catch it when I'm listening it to again, and all of a sudden it just hits me a different way. I'm like, oh, well, that's how I'm supposed to do that. Okay, great. Because I'm still learning. I may be teaching a lot of, I may teach a ton of people, but all of a sudden I'll find something and go, oh, well, I didn't think about it that way. You use something forever, you do something forever, you don't think about switching for whatever reason. But the presenters And then I'm closing it out. Thank you for that.
I'm interested in 10 years from now, someone being like, you taught me about this. And I'm going to be like, I have absolutely no clue what you're telling me. And they're going to reteach me. Also, the open house is kind of not the virtual open house. We're going to be going live with Friday Live. I'm not that worried about that one. I can say it now. It was easy setting it up. All of the people were like, yes, please. Yes, we want to be a part of this. Condi is amazing. We want to help and support Condi in every way. All of them. And I was like, are you serious? Am I in the Twilight Zone? Like I thought.
Well, I mean, you asked me, you said, Nikki, and this is what I want you to do. And I'm like, okay. But
I told everyone their times and they were just like, okay.
Yeah, okay, that's what we got to do. Fine.
Everything worked. And I was like, oh my God, I can't say anything, but this is easy. Everything's working. And man, I guess I'll just.
You haven't had any hiccups, which has been amazing.
Yeah. So thank you for everyone on this. Anyone watching, I definitely have it on my list of things to do for Monday, to email all of everyone to let them know. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm glad. I'm always tickled when you ask me to come on live with you. I feel like we just have a good time. It's kind of like you let your hair down, grab a bag of popcorn. Let's see what we can get in trouble doing.
Should I have let my beard down?
You can let your beard down. I'll let my hair down. But honestly, it's you look at me and go, okay, Nikki, so this is what we're gonna do. And I'm like, okay, let's just do it. And you're like, yes, because a lot of people in the industry, and you know that too, a lot of people in the industry are like, no, you got to do it this way. And I come in, I'm like, but why can't we do it this way and this way? And I got to talk to Finch back in March, and he's like, you just blow my brain half the time.
Yeah, and I had Finch I called Finch the 25th man or the 26th man because that's baseball term for the guy on the bench that does everything. Yes. Yeah, and I was like, you're teaching a class. And then all the classes filled up. And I was like, and then I added more classes. And I was like, well, I'm sorry, Finch. I'm going to add you to the spare, just in case someone drops out.
Finch.
And I was like, no disrespect. I can throw you in somewhere, anywhere. We can go earlier. We can go later. And he was like, no, anything. And I was like, dude, that's, respect to you and all of that. I might get Finch on during the Friday Live. Yeah, thank you for being understanding, Finch.
You benched Finch. That's great. Sorry, Finch. I got to clean up. I was the cleanup hitter.
Yeah, and I didn't have Stephanie on there, and I wanted them, and she came in. She came in kind of late, and I was like, "We can do you 5 on Thursday. I don't care. I'll do a 10-hour day that day, an 11-hour day. Let's go."
Oh my gosh, that's
I'll
funny.
Sleep on Sunday.
Poor Finch isn't gonna let that. We're never gonna let him live that down that he got benched. I should make him a shirt that says I was benched by Bo. Oh, poor guy. And he is such a sweetheart. I had a great time with him, wealth of knowledge, but I got to teach him the board method. Now, this man has been in sublimation with his dad for absolutely an eternity. And
he didn't believe you could do this, by the way. I don't know if he watched this, but he will. So just
really? He's like, nah. But you know what? He'll learn eventually. But if she's gonna go live, she's gonna make it work. I'm not gonna go live and have it just completely crash around me. So there is that. I'm sorry, I still can't get the fact that you benched Finch out of my head.
We'll bring him up for a Wednesday webinar or something, and shower him with champagne, or I don't know.
See, so at some point we'll go back to me going live with you. I know you have a lot to do today because you have a lot of sales going on.
Yeah, we do. We have an amazing amount of sales.
Yes, you absolutely do. And I'm probably gonna hedge a bet that there's some drinkware in there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of those are on sale. Definitely the SS Mug 15-W.
Yeah.
That is an amazing mug. I don't remember how low we went on it, but we might have went ridiculously low.
And this is the time to do it. And if you haven't, if you sell drinkware and stuff on the back half, this right now, when they're running these really good specials, I'm not saying they don't run specials later in the year. They do, but nothing like you normally see during the summer. And that's because we're kind of jockeying for position right now. We're trying to get everything in because let's be honest, I don't want to be ordering from Condi in November when I need it yesterday because the mail and UPS going on strike, the mail is just not going to be where it needs to be. So for me, I would rather buy all the stuff while it's on sale here and now, so that at the end of the day, I can make sure I have a successful back half of the year without going, oh, is that ever going to show up? Did the mail lose it?
And let's be honest. We all know that we have 157 days until Christmas, and that's
Yes,
not
we do.
really that long.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And a stock up, order your ornaments now. And
this is a great time to go through your shop. If you sell
Yes.
a lot of mugs at Christmas time, get yourself some mugs. If you sell paper, you need your paper. Stock up on your paper. You don't want to be running out and have to use copy paper where you're not going to get that really good print. You want to make sure you're stocked up on your paper, your tape. If you're big into ornaments, grab as much as you possibly can. I tell everybody that July is the time to stock up on what you're going to need, because you do not want to be racing around. Shipping rates go through the roof at the back half of the year. Ask me how I know. My husband's in the post office and he goes, oh, another rate.
Pandemic, everyone's selling out. Inventory's hard to keep in. Like the supply chains have kind of been broken. They're coming back,
but it's slow.
Yeah.
It's slow. And so honestly,
Ken, come into the Friday Live. I will premiere the Christmas countdown in the Friday Live again today.
Some of us aren't ready.
I know. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Nikki,
stock up now. So
I'm going to take a 15-minute break, and if it's okay,
that. You've done an amazing job, sir, and I applaud you for this being your first. You have done an amazing job. Went off flawlessly. Thank you for allowing me to be the last of your act. You enjoy that 15 minutes.
Well, thank you. And Nikki, thank you for everything you do. Let me know if you need anything. Everyone else, let me know. FridayLive@Condi.com. Email me. And thank you for your time, Nikki, and all of this.
And everybody.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna let the intro go, and then I'll. But thank you, Nikki.
Welcome.
Hold on, I gotta find the intro. Where is it? Oh, we can go with this one.